Okay, Chevra, apologies. I have to make a shtickle Shiva call cross country, so I'm not going to be there tomorrow night. So we're going to record something prior so that we keep on learning. Keep on learning, Emir Hashem. We are holding on the Mishnah on the bottom of Chav Ches Amid Aleph. Says the Mishnah, continuing the Seder Hayoim, the order of that which was done each day in the Beis HaMikdash. So far, all we've done is we figured out sleeping arrangements, followed by who wants to do the Chumas Hadeshen. Natal Esa Mafteach. Says the Mishnah, they take the key. Upasbach Esa Pishbeish. They open up the Pishbeish, which was a small door. V'nichnas mi Beis HaMoikad, and they enter from the Beis HaMoikad la'azara, to the Azara. This is the Memoina v'nichnasu HaKohanim Achrav. So they open up, and all the Kohanim enter in after him. And what are they doing first? They're holding two torches. And they split into two groups. Elu Mahalchen Bachsadra, Derech Mizrach, these go on the Achsadra, the elevated areas eastward, Elu Mahalchen Bachsadra, Derech Ma'ariv, and these go westward. So they're coming out of the Beis HaMoikad, one group goes right, one group goes left, Hayaboilkin V'holchen, and they encircle the Beis HaMikdash, checking and going, Achemegia L'makam Oisa Chavitim, till they reach the place where they make the Chavitim being the carbon that the Kohen Gadol brought each and every day. Higiu elu ve'elu, so each group meets each other. Amru shalom, hakol shalom. And they said everything is good, everything is intact, there's no tumah on the Beis HaMikdash, and everything is fine. Hamidu oisa chavitim lasas chavitim. The Kohanim that are going to make the breads for the chavitim start doing such. So part number one of the Avodah is to check that there's no tumah on the Beis HaMikdash. When that is done, they start preparing the chavitim for the Kohen Gadol. Misha Zachal Litchem is a Mizbeach, the one that is Zeichat to be Tairem, to take off the ashes, as we learned right before the Mishnah, whether it was always a raffle, whether it was only after someone was pushed and broke his leg. So one who won that raffle, who Yitzrayim, who takes the ashes. Ve'emaimrim, and they would say, have a Zoyer, be careful. They would tell the Kohen that's going in to take off the ashes, be careful. Don't touch anything until you sanctify your legs and your hands. Kiddush yadayim v'raglayim min hakiyar, from the kiyar, which of course was the washing basin that they washed their hands and their legs. And the machta, the shovel that they're going to use to take off the ashes, was placed in the corner between the ramp and the mizbeach. Where? On the western side of the ramp. And the truth is, if you look in the English side of your booklets, you'll see, I actually might have one right over here, you'll see that there's a picture of where the keves was between the ramp and the mizbeach. Says the Mishnah further. First of all, just to, quickly, I apologize, this booklet I have is out of order. We'll take one more second if we could find it. If not, we will move on. I apologize. The good booklets are sitting in shul, and this one is out of order, and therefore I cannot find it, and therefore we move on. Says the Mishnah, Ein Adam Nichlas Imai. When this Kohen, the Kohen that won the lottery, to separate the ashes, when he entered the Beis HaMikdash, no one went in with him. And not only that, he wouldn't hold a candle, pitch black, it's early in the morning. What was the only light? The light that came from the Ma'aracha, the fire on top of the Mizbeach. So he's going into the Beis HaMikdash. There's a little bit of a light coming from top of the Mizbeach. Lo hayo royin oisai. So the other Kohanim wouldn't see him. As we turn over to Chav Chesam and Beis, and they would also not hear his voice. Ad until Shayashayimim, what would they hear? What they would hear was a kol ha'etz, the sound of the wood. What wood? Sha'asa ben Katin, that a person by the name of Ben Katin made. What wood was this? Which was mochni, which was a water wheel, which was a mechanism, likiyar, for the kiyar, a mechanism to lower the kiyar into the ground, which of course it got its water from. And again, this is a picture that you have in your booklets. I'm going to try one more time because the first search was futile. Maybe the second one will be better. That the kiyar was in the ground. Come on. Ah, here we go. First of all, this is the picture from before. That is the shovel between the kevis and the mizbeach. And over here, you'll see, just to show you which picture you're looking for, that's the Beis HaMikdash, and those two lines are where they would walk around checking the whole Beis HaMikdash. And here we go. And here is the muchni. This is the water wheel to lower the kiyar into the ground. So no one would see him, but they would hear the kiyar being lowered into the ground. And what would the Koyanim say? Higia, the time has come, East, the time of Kiddush Yadav V'Raglav Min HaKiyar, to sanctify his hands and his legs from the kiyar. Noto Machtas HaKesef, so this Koyin took the silver shovel, V'Olo L'Rosh HaMizbeach, he went up to the top of the Mizbeach. Pinas HaGacholim, he spread out the coals, Halach, and he took from the innermost coals. Yarad, he went down. He came to the floor off of the ramp. Hafach banav litzafa, and he turned northward. He walked to the eastern side of the ramp. Ke'eser amos, approximately 10 amos. Those coals, those ashes, the ashes of the Trumas Hadesha and the removal of the ashes to start the Avodah of that day, he put on the floor. Where? Rochaik min HaKeves, distant from the ram, Shleisha Tfachim. And what else they put in that area? That was as well the area, Makaim, Shenaistim, Mariyos Ha'oif, parts of the bird carbon, Vidishan Mizbeach HaPanimi, where they cleaned out the innermost Mizbeach, Vidishan ha-minayra. So first of all, I'll just show you the picture. You'll see it better in your booklets. So again, this is the muchni. But over here is a picture, as you see. That's the maracha. You see it showing him coming down, going to the kiyar, then going up, taking the ashes, coming down, and putting the ashes in that pile next to the mizbeach. And that is avodah number 1, which is the cleaning out of the ashes. Says the Gemara, from the beginning of the Mishnah that said that they went out of the Beis HaMikdash. They walked right, they walked left, 2 groups encircling the Beis HaMikdash on the Achsadra, on these pavilions. Says the Gemara, were there really pavilions in the Hazara? V'atani, we learned in a Bryce of Elazar ben Yankiv, Oimer, Minayin, how do we know Sheinais and Achsadra is Ba'azara? You're not allowed to plant an Asherah tree next to the Mizbeach. And from here we learn out that you're not allowed to have any form of elevated wooden structure next to the Mizbeach. So how could they have an Achsadra? How could they have an elevated structure they walked across to check out the Beis HaMikdash? Answers the Gemara, you have the Joshua wrong. Hachi Kamar, this is what it means. Excuse me, this is part of the kasha, that we see that you're not allowed to plant any form of Asherah, any form of elevated wooden structure next to the Mizbeach. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Chisda, teaches Rav Chisda, Bachsadrois Shel Binyan. What's going on over here? It was Achsadris of Binyan. It was not made out of wood, but rather it was made out of, it was a structure, a stone, and therefore that was allowed to be made on top of the Mizbeh, in the Beis HaMikdash. It was not made out of wood, and therefore it was allowed. So again, one more time, They would go right, they would go left. The question was, we thought that we learned from Losita L'cha Sheira that you can't have any elevated wooden structure. Says the Gemara, it's true. But these elevated structures were made out of stone, and therefore the Mishnah can even fit with the opinion of Rav Elazar ben Yaakov. And we wrap up this parak with one last piece of the Gemara. The Gemara says, Hayabayitkin v'holchin. And then the Gemara said that they would come back around, they would eat Sei Shalom, and then what? They would do the Minchas Chavitin. So what does it sound like? It sounds like, what is the first carbon? The Minchas Chavitin. Says the Gemara Lemeimer, the Chavitin Havikadimi, was that indeed the first carbon that they brought, the Minchas Chavitin? V'atanya, but we learned in a Raisa, Minayin, from where do we know? Shein davar koidem l'tamid shel shachar. That nothing came before the carbon tamid shel shachar. Talmud Loimar, says the Gemara, v'arach aleha ha'oila. That you prepare the oila. V'amar rabba ha'oila oila rishayna, that the oila came first. So how are you telling me that the Minchas Chavitin came first? We know that the oila came first, the carbon tamid. Answers the Gemara, Rav Yehuda lahachem chamin l'ravicha. What it means is not that they would bring the carbon minchas chavitin first, but they would prepare, they would boil up the water for the carbon minchas chavitim. That came first, but it's true. So what's the first carbon? The oila. What's the first carbon that was prepared? That's the minchas chavitin. Hadron aloch b'sheisha mekaymais. Mirz Hashem, we're going to chazer. We'll start chazering together on Thursday. I apologize again. I couldn't make the share in person, but I hope everyone could learn at some level together. Chazer, and we'll pick up from a chazara before we go into the second parak in Mirza Hashem.